Most luxury cars are financial suicide. You drive off the lot and watch 40% of your money evaporate before the first oil change. But a small handful break that rule completely. Some hold 80 to 90% of their value after 5 years. A few actually appreciate. One Porsche on this list has climbed over 600% above its original price. Using verified data from iSeeCars, CarEdge, Kelley Blue Book, and Hagerty, we found 13 luxury cars that don't just avoid depreciation. They treat your money with the kind of respect most luxury brands reserve for their shareholders. These aren't cars, they're assets with leather seats. Let's count them down. Number 13, Lexus ES Hybrid, 2024 to 2026. Let's start with the smartest, boring decision you'll ever make. The Lexus ES Hybrid projects a 35% 5-year depreciation according to CarEdge, a number so low for a luxury sedan that it almost feels like a typo. To put that in perspective, the average luxury car loses 50 to 60% in the same window. The ES quietly keeps 2/3 of your money in your pocket, while its German rivals set fire to yours. The reason is proven engineering. The 2.5-liter hybrid powertrain has been refined over multiple generations, and Toyota's hybrid technology has logged more real-world miles than every other manufacturer's system combined. Buyers know this. The used market knows this. And that shared knowledge creates the demand that keeps resale values propped up like a foundation of concrete rather than sand. Slide into the cabin and the value proposition becomes tactile. The leather is soft and genuinely premium. The Mark Levinson audio system fills the space with 3-dimensional clarity. And the ride quality delivers the kind of serene silence that makes you forget you're in a car that costs half what its reputation suggests. The honest caveat, the ES is comfortable, not thrilling. Nobody buys one for the driving dynamics. But a 77 out of 100 reliability score from Consumer Reports combined with class-leading value retention makes this the financial equivalent of a blue-chip stock that also happens to have heated seats. The boring genius that keeps your money. Now, for the compact sports sedan that turns depreciation into a rounding error. Number 12. Lexus is 350, 2024 to 2026. The Lexus is 350 is proof that you don't need to spend 6 figures to make a financially intelligent luxury decision. CarEdge projects a 41% 5-year depreciation, competitive for the segment. But that number understates the real story because the IS holds a devoted enthusiast following that keeps clean examples selling faster than dealers can stock them. When demand outruns supply, values stay strong, and the IS has quietly built exactly that dynamic. The secret is the naturally aspirated 3.5-liter V6. No turbocharger to fail, no direct injection carbon buildup, no complexity waiting to surprise the second owner. iSeeCars rated the IS one of the most reliable luxury compacts on the market, and that reliability reputation is precisely what protects resale value. Buyers pay a premium for cars they trust, and trust is the single most valuable currency in the used luxury market. Turn the key, and the V6 responds with a refined mechanical growl that turbocharged competitors spend fortunes trying to replicate through speakers. The F-Sport trim adds genuine chassis sharpness, the cabin materials age gracefully rather than cracking, and the steering delivers feedback that makes every on-ramp feel like an invitation. The honest caveat, fuel economy sits at 22 miles per gallon combined, thirsty for a compact. But when the car barely depreciates and never breaks, a few dollars at the pump is a rounding error on a genuinely smart purchase, the sports sedan that refuses to lose value. Now for the German performance coupe that holds value like a Swiss bank account. Number 11, BMW M2, 2024 to 2026. The BMW M2 is the rarest thing in the modern performance world, a genuine driver's car that's also a genuine financial asset. As one of the last compact BMW M cars offered with a manual transmission and a proper twin-turbo inline-6, the M2 occupies a shrinking niche that collectors have already identified as future classic territory. Cars that represent the end of an era don't depreciate the way ordinary cars do. They appreciate the moment the era actually ends. The 3.0-liter twin-turbo inline-six produces 453 horsepower and channels it through the rear wheels with a mechanical purity that BMW's electrified future will never replicate. The available 6-speed manual is the configuration to buy. Manual performance cars command premium's automatics don't, and that premium grows every year as manuals disappear entirely. Enthusiasts are already snapping up manual M2s as long-term holds. Slide into the heavily bolstered seats and the M2 wraps around you like a race car that accidentally qualified for daily driver duty. The leather is grippy, the driving position is perfect, and the exhaust bark on startup announces that something serious just woke up. The honest caveat, the ride is firm and the interior is more focused than luxurious. This is a driver's tool, not a lounge. But as the last analog M2, this car is a rolling investment that happens to be one of the most thrilling machines BMW currently builds. The last analog M car worth holding. Now for the Japanese Grand Tourer that went from overlooked to appreciating in record time. Number 10, Lexus LC 500 2024 to 2026. When the Lexus LC 500 launched, critics dismissed it. 471 horsepower in a $100,000 Grand Tourer sounded underwhelming on paper. Then something remarkable happened. The market realized that performance was never the point. The LC 500 was engineered for quality, refinement, and sound, and as buyers experienced it in person, values stopped falling and started climbing. Early examples are already appreciating, and clean, low-mileage cars now command more than some owners paid. The reason is the engine, a 5.0-liter, naturally aspirated V8 that produces one of the greatest exhaust notes in modern automotive history. In an era where every competitor has moved to turbocharging and electrification, a naturally aspirated V8 in a $100,000 luxury coupe is a genuine rarity, and rarity is the foundation of appreciation. This is the last of a breed, and the market has recognized it. Open the door, and the LC 500 delivers on every promise. Every surface and touch point is intentionally covered in the highest quality leather, Alcantara or magnesium, the kind of obsessive material selection that most manufacturers abandoned decades ago. The cabin feels hand-assembled by people who genuinely cared. The honest caveat: the rear seats are essentially decorative and the trunk is small, making this a true Grand Tourer rather than a practical daily driver. But as a rolling piece of automotive art with an appreciating price tag, the LC 500 is a financial decision disguised as an indulgence. The underappreciated masterpiece that's now climbing. Now for the German coupe SUV that proved Porsche can do practical without losing value. Number 9, Porsche Macan 2024 to 2026. The Porsche Macan isn't a compact SUV. It's a Porsche first and an SUV second, and that distinction is the entire reason it holds value like almost nothing else in its segment. While ordinary luxury crossovers hemorrhage 50% of their value in 5 years, the Macan retains a dramatically higher percentage because it carries the one thing no competitor can manufacture: the Porsche crest and everything it represents in the used market. The engineering justifies the badge. The turbocharged powertrains deliver genuine sports car dynamics in a practical body. The PDK dual-clutch transmission shifts with surgical precision, and the current generation has been refined over multiple model years to eliminate the early quirks that plague first-year vehicles. Consumer Reports even tied the Macan with the Mazda CX-5 as the most reliable small SUV. A Porsche with mainstream reliability is a financial unicorn. Turn the key and the engine settles into an idle with the kind of mechanical confidence that makes you instinctively trust the car before you've left the driveway. The interior is unmistakably Porsche. Every switch, every surface, every material chosen with intent. The honest caveat: the options configurator can double the price before you realize what happened, so buy strategically. But a well-specified Macan is one of the smartest luxury purchases available, combining daily usability, genuine performance, and the value retention that only a Porsche badge provides. The practical Porsche that protects your money. Now for the full-size luxury SUV that retains value in markets around the entire world. Number 8, Lexus GX 2024 to 2026. The Lexus GX flies under the radar for most buyers, and that's exactly why savvy ones love it. It's one of the most value-retaining luxury vehicles on the entire market. Built on the same rugged body-on-frame platform as the legendary Toyota Land Cruiser, the GX offers genuine luxury on top of genuine durability, and that combination creates demand that keeps resale values remarkably strong across both domestic and international markets. The redesigned GX introduced a twin-turbocharged V6 paired with proven Toyota engineering, and the body-on-frame construction gives it a solidity that unibody crossovers simply cannot match. This is a vehicle engineered to survive conditions that would destroy most luxury SUVs, and that reputation for indestructibility is precisely what protects its value. In markets like the Middle East and Central Asia, GX and Land Cruiser platforms are among the most liquid automotive assets you can own. Open the door, and the cabin surprises everyone who expected a rugged truck interior. Real leather, a large touchscreen, and material quality that makes you forget this vehicle was engineered to cross deserts. Close the door, and you feel the vault-like solidity in the thud. The honest caveat, the GX drinks fuel aggressively, and the ride is firmer than a cushy unibody crossover. But as a luxury SUV that holds its value like a global currency and lasts for decades, the GX is one of the smartest long-term automotive investments money can buy. The indestructible asset with heated seats. Now for the flagship SUV that sells used for nearly the same price as new. Number 7. Cadillac Escalade, 2024 to 2026. The Cadillac Escalade broke the fundamental rule of luxury SUVs. They're supposed to depreciate faster than sedans, and the Escalade simply refused. The 2026 refresh solidified its position as the ultimate American status symbol, and high demand in the executive transport sector, combined with a genuine cult following, keeps used prices of recent models sitting remarkably close to their original MSRP. When a used car costs nearly as much as a new one, the depreciation math becomes almost irrelevant. The engineering earns the demand. The available 6.2-liter V8 delivers effortless power, the air suspension smooths out every road imperfection, and the 38-inch curved OLED display spanning the dashboard remains one of the most impressive interior technologies in any production vehicle. The Escalade doesn't just look expensive. It delivers an experience that justifies the executive transport reputation that keeps its resale values elevated. Step inside, and the cabin overwhelms in the best way. The leather is thick and supple. The AKG Studio Reference Sound System delivers 36 speakers of immersive audio, and the second-row captain's chairs offer the kind of comfort that makes passengers request the long way home. The honest caveat, fuel economy is genuinely brutal, and the sheer size tests every parking garage. But as a status symbol that holds its value like a blue-chip asset while delivering a genuinely commanding presence, the Escalade is the rare luxury SUV that makes financial sense. The status symbol that keeps its price tag. Now for the German icon that treats depreciation like a suggestion it chooses to ignore. Number 6. Mercedes-Benz G-Class, 2024 to 2026. The Mercedes-Benz G-Class is the closest thing the automotive world has to a guaranteed financial instrument. Despite a starting price well into six figures, the G-Wagon retains its value so effectively that used examples routinely sell for at or above their original MSRP, a phenomenon so consistent that some buyers treat the G-Class less like a car and more like a store of wealth that happens to have four-wheel drive. The formula is scarcity plus timeless design. Mercedes deliberately limits production. The boxy silhouette has remained essentially unchanged for decades, and that combination of limited supply and iconic design creates the demand that keeps values permanently elevated. The AMG variants command even stronger premiums. This is a vehicle that has genuinely appreciated for many owners, turning a luxury purchase into a legitimate investment. Close the door, and the G-Class announces itself with a bank vault thud that no other SUV on the market can replicate. The interior blends rugged capability with genuine luxury, hand-stitched leather, real metal switchgear, and the iconic passenger grab handle that reminds you this vehicle was originally engineered for military duty. The honest caveat, it drives like the tall, heavy, off-road focused machine it fundamentally is, and fuel economy is genuinely an afterthought. But as a rolling asset that has historically defied depreciation almost entirely, the G-Class is arguably the single strongest financial case on this entire list. The luxury SUV that's genuinely an investment. Now for the German flagship coupe that holds value the old-fashioned way, by being irreplaceable. Number 5, Mercedes-AMG GT, 2024 to 2026. The Mercedes-AMG GT occupies rarefied territory. A hand-built German Grand Tourer with a hand-assembled engine that carries the signature of the individual technician who built it. That one man, one engine philosophy isn't just marketing, it's the foundation of a value proposition that keeps these cars desirable in the used market long after ordinary sports cars have depreciated into obscurity. Because hand-built exclusivity doesn't scale. And anything that can't scale holds its value. The heart of the car is a hand-assembled twin-turbocharged V8, producing prodigious power and a soundtrack that makes every drive feel like an event. AMG builds these engines in a dedicated facility in Falterbach, and that craftsmanship is exactly what separates the GT from mass-produced competitors that flood the used market and collapse in value. Scarcity and craftsmanship are the twin pillars of automotive value retention, and the AMG GT is built on both. Slide into the low-slung cabin and the GT wraps around you like a fighter jet with leather upholstery. The materials are exquisite, the driving position is perfect, and the exhaust note on startup is genuinely intoxicating. The honest caveat: the low roofline and long hood make it less practical than a sedan, and rearward visibility is compromised by the aggressive design. But as a hand-built German Grand Tourer with genuine exclusivity, the AMG GT is a driving experience and a financial asset wrapped in the same stunning bodywork. The hand-built asset with a signature under the hood. Now for the naturally aspirated Japanese supercar killer that's already appreciating. Number 4, Lexus LC 500 Convertible, 2024 to 2026. If the LC 500 Coupe was a smart investment, the LC 500 Convertible is an even rarer one. Convertibles of genuinely special cars command premiums that fixed-roof versions can't match, and the LC 500 Convertible pairs one of the greatest naturally aspirated V8 engines of the modern era with open-top motoring in a package that Lexus produces in genuinely limited numbers. Rarity plus an irreplaceable powertrain equals a car that holds and grows its value. The 5.0-liter naturally aspirated V8 is the star, as the automotive industry rushes toward turbocharging and electrification. A large displacement, naturally aspirated engine in a $100,000 luxury convertible has become a genuine endangered species. And endangered species appreciate. The engine revs with a linearity and produces a sound that no turbocharged or electric powertrain can replicate, and collectors have already identified it as a future classic. Drop the top and the LC 500 Convertible transforms every drive into a genuine occasion. The leather is exquisite, the switchgear is jewel-like, and the open-air soundtrack of that V8 is worth the price of admission alone. The honest caveat: convertibles sacrifice some structural rigidity and cargo space, and this is emphatically a 2+2 rather than a family car. The rear seats are best considered generous luggage shelves. But as one of the last naturally aspirated luxury convertibles ever produced, with collector values already climbing steadily, the LC 500 Convertible is a rolling piece of appreciating automotive art. The endangered V8 convertible that's climbing in value. Now for the analog Porsche that's outperformed the stock market. Number 3, Porsche 911 Carrera, 2024 to 2026. The Porsche 911 is the undisputed champion of value retention in the entire automotive world. According to research, the 911 Coupe retains a staggering 83% of its value after 5 years, the highest of any vehicle studied, and certain configurations retain nearly 90%. While ordinary sports cars lose 40 to 60% in the same window, a well-maintained 5-year-old 911 sells for a price that makes owners of every other sports car brand weep quietly into their depreciation reports. The reason is discipline. Porsche masterfully manages supply and demand, never overproducing its core models, and never straying from the rear-engine formula that earned the 911 its loyal following since 1963. That consistency creates a used market where demand permanently outstrips supply. The flat-six engines are proven to cross 200,000 miles with routine maintenance, and that legendary durability is precisely what protects resale value. Turn the key and the flat-six fires with a mechanical bark that vibrates through the steering column, raw, alive, and completely unlike anything electrified. The cabin balances everyday usability with genuine driver focus, and the build quality has to be experienced to be believed. The honest caveat: the options list is a genuine trap, and a loaded 911 climbs into serious money fast. But as the gold standard of value retention, a car engineered for both thrilling performance and financial intelligence, the 911 Carrera is the safest luxury purchase on the planet. The gold standard of holding value. Now, for the limited edition Porsche that's outperformed almost every traditional investment. Number 2. Porsche 911 GT3 2024 to 2026. The Porsche 911 GT3 exists as a remarkable anomaly in a world where even six-figure supercars hemorrhage value the moment they leave the showroom. While most high-performance cars lose 40 to 60% of their value within 5 years, multiple generations of the GT3 have proven completely immune to that trajectory. And many have significantly increased in value, delivering returns that rival and sometimes outperform conventional asset classes like stocks and property. The GT3's value retention is rooted in tangible factors: limited production, motorsport-derived engineering, and a naturally aspirated 4.0-liter flat-six that revs to 9,000 revolutions per minute. One of the greatest engines ever fitted to a road car. Unlike modern performance cars that lean on forced induction and digital abstraction, the GT3 stays true to an analog, driver-first philosophy. As demand for naturally aspirated Porsche GT products builds, values keep climbing, with the best examples trading at genuine premiums over MSRP. Slide into the carbon-backed bucket seats, and the GT3 makes its intentions immediately clear. This is a race car that happens to have a license plate. The materials are purposeful, the driving position is flawless, and the shriek of that flat-six at Redline is a religious experience. The honest caveat: the firm ride and focused nature make it a poor daily driver. But as a car that has repeatedly appreciated and outperformed traditional investments, the GT3 is arguably the smartest financial decision a driving enthusiast can make. The supercar that beats the stock market. And that brings us to the single greatest automotive investment on this list. Number 1. Porsche 911 GT3 RS 4.0 997. Some cars hold their value, this one made owners rich. The Porsche 911 GT3 RS 4.0, the final evolution of the legendary 997 generation, carried an original MSRP of $180,000 when new in 2011. In recent years, low-mileage examples have sold at auction for between $1.1 million and $1.3 million. That's an appreciation of more than 600%. A return that outperforms most stock portfolios, real estate, and commodity plays over the same period. This isn't a car that avoided depreciation. This is a car that became a genuine wealth-building machine. The foundation is scarcity and engineering. Limited to just 600 units worldwide and powered by the final evolution of Porsche's legendary Mezger engine. A 4.0-liter naturally aspirated flat-six producing 500 horsepower and revving to 8,500 revolutions per minute. The GT3 RS 4.0 represents the definitive end of an era. It was the last GT3 RS developed before the industry's shift toward electronically assisted cars, and the market has crowned it accordingly. Slide into the stripped-back cabin and every element screams purpose. Lightweight materials, carbon fiber everywhere, and an engine note behind you that defines what a road-going race car should sound like. The honest caveat: this is a collector-grade asset now, meaning finding one, affording one, and justifying driving one are all genuine challenges, but is the clearest proof that the right luxury car can be the single best investment in your entire portfolio. The GT3 RS 4.0 stands completely alone. The lesson is simple: the right luxury car isn't an expense. It's an asset that pays you back in both joy and dollars. And these 13 prove it better than any spreadsheet ever could. 13 luxury cars that respect your money. From the sensible Lexus ES to the six-figure appreciating GT3 RS, every one of them defies the depreciation curse that destroys ordinary luxury purchases. The secret is always the same: scarcity, proven engineering, iconic design, and genuine demand. Buy one of these, and you're not just buying a car, you're buying an asset that happens to be one of the most thrilling things you'll ever drive. Most luxury cars cost you money. These ones make it.